Good day. We will discuss the exception handling. So, what are exception handling? How to use exception handling on the program, and why we have to use exception handling for making or creating your program. So, we will have on this discussion, we will discuss what is the basics in handling exceptions. What are the techniques for exception handling? The exception handling. So, what are the exception handling? So, it is often to use or easy to write a program that, assuming that there is no incorrect will happen. Once it works correctly for the expected cases or method on the program, you have to add code to handle some exceptional cases. So, every time there are problems that arise on the execution of the program, the exception handling will respond some circumstances that arise every time the program is executed. So sometimes there are to provide some transfer control in one part of the program to another method or module of such C++ program. There are three keywords that uses the exception handling. We have the try, catch, and throw. So the try is a block of that identify the block of code that which particular exceptions will be activated, then followed by your catch. So your catch will be used for the exceptions that handles that at the programs where you put some message for the specific exceptions, and throw if the programs throw some exceptions, the problem shows up or it will have to execute the throw keyword. So the exception handling means it will have to handle error situations. If the error is handled, there will be no error on your program. At the end of this program, we will have some demonstration, sample demonstration on how to use exception handling for or inside your program or on the program. So functions with the special cases or case that is handled by a different way depending how to use the function on the specific or on the program. The function used to different programs. Each programs have an action when the special case occurs. So in C++, exception handling will use or some library software or code signals sometimes usually happen. This is called a throwing an exception. Some other places in your program may place the code that deals with the exceptional cases. Like for example, on the exception cases, there are some functions that uses bad allocations or bad casting or bad type ID, exceptions, failure, or especially we have the runtime error. So on the inside your logical error or logical failure library, there are such error or exceptions that is specified inside your logic failure. The domain error, invalid argument, length error, out of range, over in stand runtime error, there are some extensions that is used in exceptions handling is overflow error, range error, and overflow error. So we have an example of how to use exception handling. So for example, there are some instance that is used for exceptions and exception handling. Like suppose there are milk that is important that we will almost never run out. We still would like the program to handle some situation or running out of milk. So if you have your exception handling, so there is no need to use some conditional statement that will be trigger or added on the pro. So the example we have here, milk is example. So inside your code, there are some lines that you'll have to make on or enter or insert from the user input. Like we have enter number of donuts. So how many donuts that you will have to enter? Enter the number of glass of milk. So the program will have to get how many donuts or can be distributed on the milk. So we have here an example of the output. So making a try catch. So on the program to replace a test, for example, if you have if else statement or if else condition, yeah, if milk is less than equal to zero, the error will have to execute. Or this code can be used on try block. So for example, in the program, we have to make a sample program like include items 3 to see main cases STD. Example is see figure donut, donuts and milk. See out, enter number of donuts. Uh, see in donuts. Uh, enter number of milk. Milk and if milk is less than equal to zero, there are some situation or block that will have to execute like see out uh, so we have so there is instant donut uh, donuts and no milk. Then go buy some milk. Or else, yeah, execute how many donuts will distributed on the glasses of milk. So yeah, integer donut per milk. Yeah, in DPG. Donut per group. Yeah, and DPG equals to donuts is static cast or convert your integer to double or other data types. Convert uh, double milk. Okay. So see out, see out, and plus milk classes of milk. We have have two, two, have many milk, many donuts for each glasses, donut per glass. Okay. DPG donut per glass. Milk and return 0. Okay. Save. Uh, okay. Save your work. Execute. Milk. Okay. Sorry. So we have, okay. We have 12 donuts and 3 glasses of milk. So we have 12 donuts and 3 glasses of milk. You have 4 donuts and 6 glasses of milk. For example, there are some exceptions that may occur on your program, like 12 donuts and 0 milk. So 12 donuts and no milk, and you will have to execute some line or notification from the user input. Okay, so if you have to use exception handling or try catch. We will try this one in your try catch or exception handling. File, new source file. So this one, so we will make try have okay, we have catch uh, exception exception e. Uh, to use this one, we have enter glass of milk. So if there are some errors may occur, so okay, try this one. Try touch. Uh, exception. Yeah, 112.0. So there are some error exists on the program. This is int. Right. 12.0. Okay. Still errors in try catch. Try. Okay, we have here. So execute the program. So there are some exception have not working. Like we have to add if milk equal to 0, we'll have to throw some exception. Donuts. Okay, so yeah, 12.0. So 12 donuts and no milk is displayed or notified. So we can also use E as our notification. So the E will have to use the donut, the number of donuts that have been thrown on your try catch. Okay, check, check, check. Okay, we have 12, 0, so 12 donuts and no milk. Go buy some milk. So the notification will have to execute the catch or the exception handling that you have in the, written on your program. So we have here the try block outline. So we have the try and the blocks that you have execute. So the exceptions will have to throw some statement or to give some value on the exception that you have uh, defined on the program. So if you have your donut is an integer value, that's why on our program we set here an integer. So your donut is an integer. Okay. So we have also here the value have been thrown is called an exception. You can throw some value on different data types that you have given to your exception. So the catch block. So it sometimes is thrown goes from one place to another. So in C++, there are some flow control go to in different places. You can also add multiple catch on your try catch exception or in your exception handling. We have here the catch block from the milk example looks like this one. So we have the catch integer e. So the e which stands for your donut. So because your donut have been thrown for the exception handling. Okay. We have here you can also defining the exception class. So in defining an exception class, you can also make a class or you can also make a structure for your program. We will have to demonstrate. So the throw statement can throw a value in different type. So the command defined of a class whose objects can carry a kind of informations that you want to throw. So we will have to make a class. More important reason to specialize exception class is you have to one, different types of identify that each possible kind of exceptional situation. We have here throw no milk. So no milk is an class object. So, and it will have to throw the number of value that you have specified on your variable. So the exception class will have to get the statement. Now we have an object of E. So your E is a no milk class. Then get done. The default. So we will have to demonstrate a program that uses a class in exception handling. So exception class, defining exception class in exception, defining an exception class on the program. So we have here uh, examples is include same visualization, the IO stream. in space class no milk. Okay. Save. Okay. We have to do public. We have what are the variable that we will have to use or a functions. No, no milk, integer, how many. Integer get done functions. Therefore, so private int count. Okay. Int main int donut and and milk double dbg. Try to enter number of donuts. Okay, try this one. So if the donut touch, well, no milk. What exception is what are the object that we'll have to put? We have here see out uh, that get the donuts because we are using function milk, no milk, and get donuts. Okay, by creating a class no milk, no milk, and no milk, no milk. For how many milk that you no milk? How many counts? How many? No milk get done. So return counts. Okay, we have count, get donut function, no milk functions. We'll try if our code is correct. So include. So we have okay, we have end of a class. Donut, donut, donut. Yes, donuts. Number of donuts. C out, no milk. IO stream, IO stream. So we have overload E get donut. Get donuts. Then the functions we have here uses that's 12, got 12, 0. There are some exceptions that work on our program. So because we are using a class object, no milk. So no milk is specify how many donuts that you have entered to your variable, like, so the name of the function no milk, no milk. So check. So 12, 4. So there are 12 donuts in 4 glasses of milk, and you have 3 donuts in each glasses of milk. So there are no exception on the program. But if there are some exception that you have specified, like if milk is less than equal to 0, so the exception will have to execute the no milk donuts. Okay, we have 12, then 0. So 12 donuts and no milk will have to display. So the exception will execute. So that's on the exception handling. So we will have, so thank you so much guys, and see ya.